The gunshot echoed across the field, a single, reckless crack that shattered the morning's peace. My truck sat unscathed, but my dog, Titan, wasn't so lucky. He yelped, a sound that clawed at my chest, then crumpled into the tall grass, motionless. I looked up, eyes locking on three men in mismatched tactical gear, clutching AR-15s like kids playing soldier. Their faces were pale, stunned, as if they hadn't meant for this to happen. I didn't scream, didn't curse. One hand rested on Titan's still warm fur, the other on the badge I kept tucked away, the one they didn't know about yet. Those men weren't cops, weren't military, weren't even proper security. They were Linda's latest HOA power trip, hired thugs trespassing on my land. And in one stupid moment, they'd turned my quiet corner of the world into a battlefield. It started like any Saturday. I was out by the shed, wrenching a loose gate latch, while Titan bounded through the field, chasing shadows with the joy of a puppy. He'd earned that freedom. 2 tours overseas, 1 bomb blast, and 4 years as my registered Ser VYC dog. Retirement on this land was his reward. The fence was marked, signs posted, property lines clear as day. But none of that mattered to Linda. It never did. She was the HOA's self-crowned queen, wielding her clipboard like a scepter. 3 weeks earlier, she'd stood in my driveway, her voice sharp, claiming the land past my barn was a shared buffer zone. I'd chuckled, handed her my survey and deed, and watched her squint at them like they were written in code. We'll reinterpret the bylaws, she'd snapped, storming off with promises of inspections. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. That morning, I didn't hear their truck. Didn't hear boots crunching gravel. Just Titan's bark, deep, urgent, the kind I hadn't heard since our worst days in the field. I rounded the corner and saw him, hackles up, tail rigid, standing his ground. 30 feet away stood 3 men in bargain bin body armor. One wore a VY-8ers and fingerless gloves, another clutched an HOA-branded clipboard, and the third aimed his rifle low, like he'd learned it from a VY-Deo game. "Step back, sir!" the clipboard guy barked, his voice rehearsed. "HOA enforcement. We're inspecting for safety violations." I blinked. "You're on private property. Linda Grayson authorized this?" The one with the rifle shifted, nervous. "She gave us access." Titan growled, low and steady. I called him back, and he took a few steps, eyes locked on them. "You're armed on my land without permission," I said, hands VY Cybele, voice calm. "That's a felony." The third guy twitched. "He's threatening us!" he yelled. I didn't see his finger move. Just heard the shot. Titan's cry. Then silence. He lay on his side, breast shallow, then gone. The men froze, their bravado crumbling. I knelt beside Titan, my hand on his fur, my throat tight as a noose. I didn't shake, didn't sob. I just looked up, slow and cold, at 3 idiots who just killed a decorated Ser VYC dog on land they had no right to touch. "What the hell did you just do?" My voice was too calm, the kind that lingers in nightmares. "It was self-defense," one stammered. "It lunged." I stood. "He followed orders better than you ever will." Then came the heels click-clack on gravel. Linda, latte in hand, sunglasses perched like she was strolling to brunch. "What's going on?" she asked, then saw Titan and wrinkled her nose, like he was a stain on her perfect world. "You brought guns onto my land," I said. She blinked. "They're hired security. They're allowed. You got a federal Ser VYC animal killed," I shot back. "Maybe he shouldn't have been so aggressive," she said, shrugging. "Not every dog fits a neighborhood." That was her moment, the one she'd never undo. I didn't respond. I scooped Titan up, his weight heavy as memory, and carried him to the house. Her voice trailed after me, something about fines. I didn't hear it. My ears rang with rage. Inside, I laid Titan on his favorite couch, called the vet knowing it was futile, then dialed Sheriff Carter. We'd served together, trained Titan together. He arrived in 15 minutes, face grim. When he saw Titan, his words stopped. When he saw the men still outside, Fumbling to look official, his hand hovered near his holster. HOA business? He spat. That's not security. That's a circus in camo. He took statements, snapped photos, disarmed them. One rifle had no serial number, its owner mumbled about a cousin. I handed Carter my deed and Titan's Ser VYCE record, certified K9, trauma response, PTSD alert. Carter shook his head. Linda's stepped in it now. I nodded toward the barn. Camera's got everything. His eyes widened. You serious? I opened my laptop, 4 angles, clear audio, every word, every step, Titan's final stand. Carter took the USB drive. Don't leak this yet. Let me handle it. She's done. I sat beside Titan, whispering. I got it from here, buddy. Outside, Linda was still on her phone, yelling. I didn't hear her. All I heard was silence, and in that silence, I started planning. Carter stayed until dusk, watching me like I was a grenade with a loose pin. He knew the storm building inside me. I gave him no reason to intervene, kept my voice steady, my hands still, my eyes on the footage as Titan fell again and again. I'm starting with the DA tomorrow, Carter said. Think hard about what you want. I knew. I wanted a courtroom, headlines, Linda's smug face in a mugshot, her fake army stripped bare. That night, I dug Titan's grave alone under the oak he loved. I wrapped him in his training blanket, folded with military precision, and buried his harness, leash, and badge with him. The stars were out when I finished, my back aching, my anger burning hotter than ever. The next morning, I tore into the HOA minutes. Linda had pushed a motion through a half-empty meeting, claiming security concerns, to hire an unverified contractor without board approval or sheriff notification, illegal on multiple counts. I called Carter with the findings. He paused. 2 of her guys have records, suspended license, domestic violence charge. Mather should be armed. I didn't reply, just closed my laptop and stood. By afternoon, I'd cross-checked county security licensing laws against Linda's shoddy paperwork. Her contract was a homemade PDF, unnotarized, signed twice by her, tied to a fake company. Brightfield Defense Group. Linked to her cousin's P.O. box. She'd funneled HOA funds to arm thugs, neighbors' dues paying for her war zone fantasy. Carter's reports confirmed the rifle was unregistered, bought off-grid. One guard admitted they got their gear from a guy at the range. The DA charged the shooter with illegal discharge, trespassing, and animal cruelty. Linda was trickier. Proving she knowingly hired criminals was key. That evening, the HOA secretary called, voice shaky. She'd seen the video, said Linda was trying to delete it, claiming it was AI generated. I laughed, cold and humorless. Let her try. It's denke now. She sent emails, damning ones. Linda had told the board to hide the armed patrols to avoid overreactive neighbors. Her words, people behave when they feel watched. Control, not safety, was her game. I stacked the denke, footage, Titan's records, bylaws, forged invoices. The video leaked not by me. Maybe the secretary, maybe a board member. It spread fast, a blurry clip of 3 men, Titan's bark, the gunshots, silence. The internet exploded. HOA hires thugs, dog dies, became the headline. Linda's name surfaced, and the story grew beyond my loss. Local news, then regional, picked it up. Linda's second mistake was going live. In a crisp blouse, she called the footage doctored me hostile, Titan a trained attacker. Why else would he lunge? She smirked. The reporter pressed, she faltered. That clip her laughing about. Showing who's in charge. Went viral, earning her the name General Linda. The DA charged the shooter, booked by Friday, and the others faced accessory and fraud charges. Linda's forged documents were under scrutiny. I uploaded the full footage myself, unedited, titled, "This is HOA Security." It hit 200,000 views in hours. Comments poured in, veterans, dog lovers, lawyers, all enraged. Titan became a symbol of loyalty and the cost of unchecked power. The HOA crumbled, board members quit, funds were frozen, a petition to dissolve it gained traction. I didn't sign. I had my own plan. I sued Linda personally for fraud, negligence, and misuse of funds. The EVY Denke was overwhelming, emails bragging about skipping checks, fake invoices, a show of force. Charge. At her press conference, she unraveled, blaming anti-authority nutcases. Her lawyer's delay motion failed. The court date was set. The shooter confessed it had panicked. Titan hadn't touched him. The public dubbed him Twitchy Tom, merciless in their scorn. News vans swarmed the HOA clubhouse. Linda vanished from public, her mailbox egged, her wall graffitied. Tyrant. I didn't stop it. Every glance at Titan's grave fueled me. At the hearing, Linda sat rigid, avoiding my gaze. The judge, a dog owner, watched the footage in silence. A gasp rose from the gallery. Unaltered? He asked. We confirmed. He grilled Linda's lawyer on the fake company and HOA funds. There, vetting misunderstanding, excuse collapsed against the forged invoice. This was intentional misconduct, the judge said, wrapped in delusion. Linda was found liable for fraud, negligence, and endangerment, ordered to pay hefty damages and resign from the HOA, banned from future leadership. Neighbors spoke, a mother whose child feared gunshots, a vet who saw Titan as a hero, a couple betrayed by their dues. Their words shrank Linda, her composure cracking. Outside, cameras caught her fleeing, sunglasses askew. The headline read, HOA chief resigns in shame. I didn't celebrate. I stood by Titan's grave, placing Linda's nameplate, her prized vice president, plaque in the stone. His final trophy. Carter VY cited said the HOA dissolved, replaced by a volunteer group. I declined to join. Letters arrived, veterans, dog lovers, a girl who drew Titan as a superhero. I pinned her picture up. The payout funded a foundation in Titan's name, training CERVYC dogs for veterans. The first graduate saved a Marine from a panic attack. That mattered more than any verdict. Linda moved away, her name toxic. She tried another HOA board but was rejected when the VY Deo resurfaced. Actions cling like shadows. Titan wasn't just a doe, was my partner, my anchor. His death wasn't my VY Tory. It was the truth that undid Linda, carried on his paws, buried under an oak, and echoed in one senseless shot. I made sure the world heard it.